One of the biggest complaints or worries I get from parents is, how do I get my kids to listen or focus? I get this from teachers as well. They just cannot sit still and focus. And one, kids are not necessarily built to sit at a desk all day, but there are little things we can do besides giving them, movement and outside time to get the wiggles out that will help with their attention span. Now, because of our social media, fast-paced, millions of different distractions world, this is also happening with adults. Adults have a hard time focusing for a long time on any given task. And so today I'm going to talk about the RAS, or the reticular activating system. This is the part of our brain that helps us focus and helps us really determine what we need to be focusing on. So for example, if you're at a busy restaurant, you're sitting across from a dear friend, but it's pretty noisy and there's a lot of activity going on, the RAS is what gives you the ability to kind of zone in and focus on your friend across from you and hear what they have to say versus being distracted with every movement, every noise in a busy restaurant around you. So the funny or not so funny thing is the RAS actually only works, our attention span only works on average for about 8 to 9 seconds. So every 8 to 9 seconds, we tend to shift our attention, whether that be by shifting our body, moving our eyes, moving our tongue, thinking of something, thoughts will pop up. The only really good part about this, the fact that we shift our attention and our focus every 8 to 9 seconds, is that it can be fairly simple, especially with kids, to get them the tools to go ahead and lengthen that amount of time or the strength of focus they have on what you would like them to focus on. So one fun thing I do when I teach mindfulness in schools is we practice listening to a sound. I have a fun little chime that goes off. I also have a tone bar that you go ahead and hit it and the sound goes 15 to 30 seconds. But as we learned, with the RAS only helping us keep our attention 8 to 9 seconds, 15 seconds actually is strengthening that brain muscle. So and helping us increase our ability to focus on what we need to focus and tuning out other stimuli. This is also a great exercise for adults to do, not only to increase their focus as well, but to help calm the body, bring you into that present moment, especially if breath work or something else isn't really working for you, or sometimes you need something else, but bring you out of that fight or flight into the parasympathetic nervous system. So how I cue the kids to do this, and you can play with your kids doing this if you don't have, a tone bar. This actually can be found on Amazon. I think it was like $10 maybe or something, not too expensive. You can use, if you have a keyboard, going ahead and playing a key on the keyboard. You could take a spoon with a glass or a bowl, anything that would simulate the sound. If you have littles where you have the xylophone, that can be used as well. How I cue it though is I ask them to kind of look down so they're not looking at me and watching what I'm doing. They really have to use their ears to focus and listen. If they don't want to close their eyes, please don't force kids or anybody for that matter to do that, because sometimes it's a feeling of safety. They want to keep their eyes open. Just make a note of that. And in mindfulness, you never should be forcing anything anyways, because that just dysregulates us and defeats the purpose of mindfulness. So, but going ahead and having them do what they can do, or yourself, to go ahead and eliminate distractions. And then I instruct them to listen for the bell. When they hear the bell, they're instructed to keep listening until they don't hear the sound anymore. And when they don't hear the sound anymore, to go ahead and raise their hand slowly. If you're doing this with a group of kids, like if you have multiple kids at home, or you are a teacher that you want to do this in school, just encourage them to, go ahead and listen and not look around or worry when their other friends are raising their hands, because sound travels differently. If you're in the front of the classroom or if you're closer to the bell, you're going to hear it longer than, say, if you're in the back. So if you'll play along with me, or if you want to grab one of your kids, you can pause this video and go ahead and just do this exercise with me and see what you think. So going ahead and getting in a comfortable position, and again, just eliminating distractions either by closing your eyes. We're going to use our ears. And if you don't want to close your eyes, looking down at your lap or your feet, just listening for the bell. And when you don't hear the sound anymore, go ahead and slowly raising your hand. And the sound is gone. Just noticing any sensations or any feelings that you feel. Noting that that was probably about 15 seconds or so, and that's actually almost double of the attention span that we typically have. So if you're able to listen to the sound until its completion, you were strengthening your RAS. So this is a fun mindfulness thing to do with kids, and as always, ask any questions or post any comments below. Feel free to private message me, but just have fun with bringing more mindfulness and presence into your life.